Alright, this is Shooting Anybody 6, and today we are actually going to teach you how to do a little bit of video editing in Premiere Pro 2017. So we're going to start off, normally down here you wouldn't have this all set up yet, you actually have to drag something in. So I'm going to start by dragging this in right here. Drag it in, you can see where you're going to put it, drop it. Perfect. Now for what I'm doing right now, I'll just show you real quick. What you can do is you can either use this, slide it, make it shorter or longer. Same thing from the other side. Or you can actually click C and you can cut it a bunch wherever you want. Click V to activate this thing again, and you can individually have them like that. You can delete it if you want to make it shorter like that. Any type of stuff like that. Control Z undoes everything. And obviously you can just go through this. Now a lot of people actually have issues with wanting to change this size, so I'm going to show you how to do that real quick, but not everybody. But it's sequence settings, and you just change it here. Change it 1000. Yes, you can undo. You see how it changes it there. You obviously can't undo it, so you have to go back and retype in the 1920. That way it gets it back to the default. So now then, because I have this, I'm actually going to show you how to deal with multiple video and audio things at once. So what we're going to find is the same G4-3. It's a little bit different because I use a different thing for capturing audio in my camera. So now then, as you can see, you get this on top. And the very first thing you want to notice is this black bar. You don't want that there. You definitely would hate to have that there. So there's a cropping tool, Video Effects Transform Crop. Drag that and drop it right there. Then once you drop it right there, over here on this, in this window, you can see the crop effect. And from the right side, I want to trim off 25% from the right. So now that that's gone, that's perfect. I also want to rescale it. So then what I do is I use usually about 35. And then what you can do actually is you can click on this and you can manually move it like that. Or what you can do is double click on it like I did, double click, and then drag it around to where you want it to be. To get rid of the blue outline around it, make sure it sits flush. You can unclick, and you can either drag it like that every single time, or you can just memorize or write down those two values that will be in the exact same spot every single time. Now from there, what I'm actually going to do is whenever I do video, I do capture audio. However, the audio from the nice video isn't very good, so we're going to line it up. And as you can see, what you do with this is you zoom in like this. Scrolling wheel progresses it forward and backward like this. So now then what we're going to do is we're going to find somewhere that looks similar enough. Alright, so obviously these two line up. So we're going to zoom in nice and close, and we're going to drag this right about there. And now then that lines up about as well as you can get it. You can try it a little bit more, however, I'm not sure. Yeah, give me one. Alright, there it is. So that's about as good as it's going to get. So now you'll notice that the video and the audio are always going to end up being linked up. So now then what we want to do is we want to unlink the video and the audio. That way we can get rid of the bad audio. Keep the good audio. You don't need to necessarily move this up or down, but I like to. So now then it's lined up, and you want to link all three of these together. So you're going to have to unlink those two, control highlight, and link all those. So now then whenever you cut, it makes a cut along the entire thing. So now then, obviously, what you can do is you can find what you want to do. You can go through and you can edit it. I'll edit it down real quick just so I can show you the next part. Alright, so now then what I'm actually going to show you is pretty important. So I'm trying to get a capture a battlegrounds kill here. So I know what I want to do is I want to start right about here. So I can click C, cut, back, click V again to get back to the mouse tool, and delete it. And then space or play it. Watch it go through. Boom. Right. And then now that I want it to be done, cut it again there, and I can pull that apart. So now then we're going to move this to group with the rest of the other kills. And so what's really, I think, pretty good about this tool is that it automatically will line it up for you. See how it sits flush all three? It'll automatically do that for you. And now then, we're gonna look at one of these real quick. Okay, so you see how sudden that transition is? There are tons of transitions that are built into Adobe Premiere Pro. Underneath video transitions, there's 3D motion, there's dissolve, there's a lot of them that you can go through and learn yourself. So I personally like to use additive dissolve between all of them. And so whenever you have more than one video thing, like I have my 2 different video files, then you actually have to apply it to both of them. But if you're only using one, then you don't have to worry about that. So now then we can go ahead and see what it looks like as it transitions. See, so now it looks a lot smoother in my opinion and helps it flow. And then it's the same thing with the audio. There's audio transitions, crossfade, so there's either exponential, so it gets quieter and then louder into the next one, or constant power. I personally prefer constant power, but definitely you go ahead and play around with it. Make sure you are comfortable with how you want it to go. So there you go. That right there is good so far. Now then, what you'll notice is if you take it and you break it, and then it doesn't carry the rest of them, so then you have to put it back and you lose your entire, you just lost your entire transitions if you're trying to move them all. And so the way to avoid doing that is you select them all and then you click group, at which point now then you can move them, and as you can see they still keep the transitions. If you zoom in, you can see the transitions are still there now. Alright, so that right there is how you deal with that. Now the next part that you may want to notice inside of a video, let's say that you wanted to fast forward. Well, what you do is you'd break it twice, and then what you could do is you would go until you want to stop. So right about there, let's say, and then you would break it again. Now then you right click on the entire thing, there's speed/duration, and then you can change it 600%, so that's 6 times faster than normal. You can go that fast, that's 20 times faster than normal. You go through, click OK, and then it'll render it down. And now at this point, it actually won't, the playback, on the video playback won't be very smooth because the computer is having a very, very hard time trying to keep up and process all of that. So it actually does not do a very good job there, but whenever you actually render the video, it does. And then also, messing with the audio, there is the audio gain you can do. And so you can reduce the audio by playing with this, or if you want to actually completely mute it, you can unlink and delete the audio, or just set this to -100. Boom, as you can see, you lose all your audio in there. There's no more audio. So that is how you play around with all of that. And that right there is actually the very basic tutorial. The last thing, to export your file, click Control M, you get this that pops up. Now the format that you want to use is H.264. Obviously output, you choose exactly where you want it to go to. You obviously want to export audio and video, and then this next part, the output right here. So whenever you use H.264, you can actually change, unclick match source, and you can uncheck all of these, and you can change them manually as you'd like. You can scroll down, you got bit rate. I personally recommend 10 and maximum of 12. I just changed that, but maximum of 12. Those are the good bitrate settings. And then you can personally change this. And actually, right. So besides that, alright, so now then we're actually pretty much done with the tutorial. There are a lot of things that you can go through and learn, but for the most part, that's how you do it. If you want to add tracks or more video and audio, you can do it like that. If you want to drag in a photo, you just drag a photo in and then actually use this little thing to adjust the time. This helps you do it frame by frame, so 60 frames a second means 60 clicks for every single second. Helps you get really super exact. But besides that, thank you so much for watching. That's the Premiere Pro Basics tutorial. definitely like and subscribe for more videos. I'll have another tutorial for a few more specific things coming out soon. Thanks.